I would like to welcome each and every one of us to the fourth ACEN Business Evening of the year, which is also the last for this year. I believe that we're going to have a great time as we gather at this time. And I want to specially welcome our guest speaker, Engr, Aminu Mohammed Bodinga, FNSE. He'll be introduced properly by the chairman later. I would like to invite everyone. I want to welcome all those online. I can see Engineer Abdurrahman and Engineer Isa Safana, Engineer Dr. Amana, Engineer Ihedinu, and everybody else who is online also, and my Vice President, Engineer Adebajo. I see he's online also. We'd like to welcome you, and I hope that you all enjoy this time and learn a lot from it. At this point, I'd like to invite the President of ACEN, Engineer Kamsalem Ebuka, FNSE, to give us his opening remark. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Managing Director, Sir Professor Kim Leneda, Nyapumila Yokaji. Sorry, may I invite our speakers and guests in front? Please take your seat here.
Yeah. Sitting next to the president.
We have to start. We are now almost 30 minutes behind schedule, and especially for our speaker that have been here on time for everybody. And then also my past presidents and very senior members joining virtually online that have joined in earnest, so will not afford to waste further more time, but to start the program. So
is it also playing?
I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Aminu Mohammed Bodinga, FNSE. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Good to have you. Then also my brother, engineer, the incoming zonal coordinator, Sharafaddin. That's none of this. You're welcome. And online also we have past president Amana, 9th president of Association for Consulting Engineering. Sir, if you can hear me, I welcome you, sir. Good.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you, sir. We also have online my vice president and incoming president, FNSE, FNI. Sir, can you hear me? You are welcome. Good to have you. Another council member and chairman members, membership committee, Engineer Kamil Olaleken. If you can hear me, good to have you. Our zonal coordinator, Ibadan. Yes,
well done.
Okay, Kamil Olaleken, welcome. Engineer Wadela Guju, zonal coordinator, Ibadan, you're welcome. My honorable treasurer, Engineer Bola Olewe, good to have you. And also the hosting zonal coordinator, the person of Engineer Benga Ajay, you are most welcome. And distinguished members, may I pray their indulgence too? Because for those, as you can see from the screen, it's empty. So you better come forward. Sorry, come to the front stage. Come to the front stage. We have light on. So please. So I would like to start by introducing what our business evening in ACEN entails. ACEN Business Evening is an event that normally conducted in a relaxed atmosphere where members come together to exchange ideas and discuss practical ways to execute them. It is hosted by one of the 7 zones. Why 7? ACEN has 2 zonal offices.
Okay, that's it.
That is Lagos and Ibadan. That is why instead of the normal 6, we have 7. And normally we have it as a 2 hours program in 4 times a year. No, in turn at each of the zonal offices. Normally we have it sometime in March, sometime in June, the second one, then August, and then also October. As you can see, this one is we are taking a bit late because we just had our AGM and another general meeting in November. We're supposed to have it before that, but due to some circumstances, we had to, because we also want to have it extended. As you can see from the announcement and the flyers, we call this one extended because normally it's an evening event where we start 4 p.m. and then up to 6. But this time around, because of the importance attached to the topic, so we said that initially we were contemplating of having it a whole day event, but now probably we'll try this time, and then maybe by next year we're going to have this same topic. We will ask our esteemed speaker to grant us more time next year, but for now we're going to have it from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or probably 4 p.m. depending on the case maybe, because it's going to be a very insightful and also going to be interactive one, especially for the Q&A. So that is about our business evening. So I will not bore you much with a lot of talks, but my duty here is to introduce business and then to welcome our members, our speaker, and then everybody for this event. And we said we tagged this event the topic to be opportunities for competitive growth, local engineering firms. So thank you very much. I welcome you all. Sit back, relax, and prepare as the speaker is presenting this topic. Please make your notes so that you make this event worthwhile. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Once again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of us to this business evening. This is one of the 4 business evenings that we hold in the year, and this happens to be the last one for the year 2025. And this is one business evening that we were so looking forward to having for a while, and today is coinciding with another very historic event in ACEN, which is the groundbreaking ceremony for the ACEN Abuja. My duty here is to introduce our speaker. He is a very highly respected engineer in our industry, someone whose work has a lot of impact on us as consulting engineers, someone who is quite passionate about engineering and passionate about the work he does. He is the national coordinator of the Rural Access and Agri Marketing Project, simply called RAAMP. Last conference and AGM, we are all looking forward to having him around to talk on this same topic that we'll be talking on today. And he was unavoidably absent, despite the fact that he was from where he was, he kept on calling to say, I wish he could join us, I wish he could join us. So we saw this as another opportunity to still have him, and we're very grateful to God and also to him that he has accepted to come and still talk with us today. I'd like to welcome into our midst today, engineer. Somebody is saying something. Please, I'd like to welcome engineer Aminu Mohammed Bodinga, FNSE, the national coordinator of RAAMP, to come forward and speak to us. We are all ears waiting for you. Thank you very much, sir. for coming. Would you like to hear from?
Very good afternoon to all of you. And let me recognize the president and other members of Association of Laboratory Engineering in Nigeria here with us. I also want to acknowledge those that are connected virtually. I will start by apologizing for my inability to be part of the AGM, which will have been the very best opportunity for me to talk about this very subject matter. Opportunities for competitive growth of local engineering firms. What I'm going to talk about today is more or less my 15 years experience as a procurement specialist under the World Bank Finance project. I'm so much interested in this industry because if I don't want to exaggerate, I know almost 70 to 80% of the firms profile. We may not meet physically, but at least in one way or another, through government or through the World Bank Finance project, I'm able to evaluate some of these firms. And when you talk about opportunities, most especially when we look at the other side of the angle, we're not talking about the government, we're not looking about loan-funded project. Nigeria has the biggest portfolio in Africa when it comes to. And when you look at the portfolio itself, just find a, let's for instance take RAAMP. We did RAAMP 1, which we started in 2005. We have 2 states that participated under that project, Kaduna and Cross River State. Because of the successes recorded, we expanded the scope of the project to RAAMP 2. We also accommodated 5 states. We also expanded the scope of the project. We admitted another 13 states plus another 6 states. Presently, we are implementing this project in 20 states. And the present project we are implementing has a portfolio of 575 million US dollars. 3 to 5% of this money is going for consulting services. How many Nigerian consulting firms are providing services on this particular project alone? We have SAPZ. SAPZ has about 3 donors: World Bank, Islamic Development Bank, and African Development Bank. And the portfolio is almost similar to what we have under RAAMP. We have LPRESS, Livestock Productivity Project. Name them, we have so many of them. And most of their activities involve design, either roads, building. And my greatest surprise is that when we're evaluating and when we see this kind of opportunity, we look at how our consulting firms respond to advertisement. It gives us a lot of challenge. Sometimes we go extra mile trying to see how we can help. We have the feeling that we have borrowed this money into this country. Why should we take the proceeds and allow people to come from outside to take the proceeds of this loan? If there is a design in Abuja here, and we have a local firm in Abuja here that can carry out the design, why are we going to allow somebody to come from UK, from Switzerland, all along to Nigeria and design a road when we have people that are capable of doing it here? So that is opportunities when you talk about donor-funded projects in the country. There are so many of them. They are infrastructure-based projects. We have some of them financing or supporting electrical in Nigeria. Now let's look at the government now. Up to today and tomorrow, when you go to the state, you realize that it's kind of like a design and build approach. It might be given that terminology. Government just called contractor and said, we want this road from point A to B. Submit your bill. Where's consultant? The contractor will now provide bill to his or her excellency that I'm going to construct this road on XYZ amount. And they award the contract. How much sensitization are we doing to state government to ensure that we are not just building roads, but we are building engineered roads? And you can only have an engineer roads that profile studies have been carried out and the profile design has been provided. So that gap still exists. And this association need to reach out to some of these governments to sensitize them on the importance of having an engineered road. That responsibility has been delegated to the firms, construction firms, to design the road themselves and to execute the roads themselves without any engineering firm providing either the design or the supervision. Most of the engineers in State Ministry of Works are the ones providing the supervision. How about their capacity in terms of providing that? Just try and check the capacities of some of the directors of engineering in some of the states. I'm not saying all. How many number of engineers do they have? How can they supervise the construction of over 5-10 billion naira projects? Are they even registered members of whether foreign or members of Nigerian Society of Engineers? How about their capacity in terms of delivering the services? And we all know when it comes to road, not only road, you get what you supervise. There's only reputable companies that we have in this country that whether you have the supervising firm or not, they can still deliver because of their own integrities at stake. And that is why they decided after construction, they put their sign so that we know that they are not constructed. So the gap still exists and the opportunities are there. So I'm challenging this association to start designing ways, one, to take leverage of the opportunities we have in this country. Nigeria is a very big country. We have a very vibrant economy. Construction is all going, both from the donor funded side and equally from the government side. Now, for instance, let me tell you why sometimes we have these challenges. I'm happy some of you have worked on a project. One of them is also here now. The very best day, we put an advertisement on the newspaper. What I observe is what I'm going to tell you now. Our consulting firms submit expression of interest to carry out such jobs. But neither the MD, the project manager study, the only concentration is the date of advertisement and when are they going to close. Nobody cared to look at the requirements there, and that is where we fail. It may interest you to know that people come from South Africa, from UK to take consultancy services in Nigeria, design and equally supervise. And throughout my 15 years career as a procurement specialist, 5, 6, maximum 10 companies that I receive emails asking about them in either Ghana, Cameroon, or even outside the shores of Africa, that they are about to win a contract and we are asking about their performance. They put in their profile that they have worked with your project. Very few. And if an international firm worked under our project, we normally receive a letter asking us about their performance. Are they good? Has this job been completed? Are there issues, litigations, and what have you? But very rarely we see any Nigerian firm from outside asking about the profile of that company. We limited our operations within our own environment. And not only that, if you go to some of these West African countries, the gap is there. And most of those jobs are being done by Chinese and other companies. Nigeria is the mother of this continent. We need to expand our scope beyond the shores of this country. Nigeria should be the one to be designing roads in Ghana, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, name it, and even in South Africa. But how competitive are we? Perhaps we didn't even harnessing the opportunities here in to cause us to go out. Let me tell you something. On that World Bank Finance project, they have over 100, either 150 or 160 member countries. And they have agreed that when a consultancy services reach a certain threshold, all member countries are eligible to compete, meaning that consultancy services become an international competitive bidding. And that is how these people find their way into our country and take over these jobs. It's a treaty. You can't dodge, you can't run away from it. And our response to some of these advertisements disqualified us at the early stage of the bidding process. What did I mean? I've started with mentioning about the advertisement. When they said they are looking for a company that has 9 years experience in consulting, general experience in consultancy services. If you have registered your company 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you don't need to apply. Discuss with a colleague, either you want to joint venture or partnership, or you support the company to get that job. It's waste of time when they have already classified that these are the categories of consultant they are looking for. And sometimes we will say specific experience. The consultant must have carried out similar works in the last 3 years. If you have not done anything in the last 3 years, you need not to apply. Look for somebody who have done that within the association. Extend the opportunity to him or her. Maybe you can even go into joint venture and you can all benefit from that opportunity. And then when it comes to packaging, when the advertisement is so specific about what is required, sometimes I have profile for Nigerian firms that is over 800 pages. Because it's an heritage firm from 1970s, you keep building the profile until it becomes almost the size of an encyclopedia. And you see these foreign firms coming with 14, 18, maximum 20 pages, and they take over the job. Sometimes we'll exhaust our saliva in trying to see where we can find a relevant paper that will help our local firm to win the contract, but it's nowhere to be found. Perhaps the volume, will make you lose appetite to start looking, because the packaging was not made for that particular request or for that intended purpose. But it's a profile. We keep putting activities that were carried out in the 70s, 80s, that are no longer relevant now. More precisely for that particular listing. So studying number one, the advert very carefully to understand what it's all about is very important. Another thing that I observe is a challenge is how many companies have procurement officers as their staff? And what is the opportunity of training them? It's not just to make somebody a procurement officer, you continue to pile up the profile. No. Every advertisement, we can have advertisement today, and the next one that is coming, the conditions, the consultant we are looking for are far different from this first advertisement. If you think they are the same, then you have already lost an opportunity. But what you need to do is to study the adverts, because the adverts there represents the question paper. And your packaging is the answer book to that particular question paper. And that is where the problem is. We evaluate, we sometimes start to wonder, is this responding to this particular advertisement, or along the line, the profile missed its way to this particular evaluation process? So this is something I want to particularly draw your attention to. And then let us focus on procurement officers. There is so much opportunity in donor-funded projects in this country. And Nigerians consulting firms are not taking advantage of this opportunity. And I think this is high time we look at that portfolio. If you can make a guess, 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion US dollars investment of development partners in Nigeria, more than that. The particular project I'm having now is going to 1 billion by next year. And that is only one project, 1 billion US dollars. And 5% or 3 or thereabout is going for consultancy services. How ready are we to take advantage of that opportunity coming ahead of us? And this is only one project. Talk about SAPZ, Helpfresh, Newmark, Acrisal, and then they're all over. So these are some of the challenges. And there are opportunities more. If you have somebody that you want to today convert to become a procurement officer in your company, there is a World Bank finance project. World Bank lies with 5 or 6 Nigerian universities. I think there is ABU Zaria, There is Bayero University, Kano. There is ATBU in Bauchi. There is Lagos State University. Is it LASU? Ahmed, is it LASU? Lagos State University. We also have Akure, what do you call it? Benue, University of Agriculture, Benue, and then we have Akure. So perhaps to narrow down the story, in every geopolitical zone in this country, there is a university that is selected. And they are working with World Bank. And what they are training people is on environment, social safeguard, and equally procurement. And they have online courses that you, at the comfort of your office or house, you can register, perhaps free, and take this knowledge. Why can't we allow our staff to take advantage of this to train themselves to read these videos? They call it SPACE, Sustainable Procurement, Environmental, and Social Standard. It's free. They have the 2 weeks training, 1 month, even a master's degree program, either online or physical. Allow your staff to key in there. We have, even what do you call this school in Ibadan? No, it's a private something.
But business.
But business specific, no. This procurement, this will offer some procurement training. Anyway, the point I'm trying to narrate here is that this is free, as intended for our consulting firms and other contractors to take advantage and train their staff, so that you not prepare very well when you are submitting your proposal to bid, or equally you are bidding for construction works in this country. And this is not only applicable to consulting industry, even contractors. We have contractors in this country that will bid without even visiting the project site. I even have a case now. One of my state project coordinator wrote an email to me that they have designed these roads and that they now got to understand that there is a bridge that need to be designed, and they are looking for approval to design the bridge. I now ask, what happened to the consultant that designed the road? Is it that the consultant didn't visit this road? They sit down at the comfort of their office and generate a generic design for you? Because if you go, definitely by looking at that particular location, you know that you need a bridge here. We're talking about bridge, not even culvert. So there is no way bridge can hide. So what he's telling us is that that consultant didn't visit the project site. They have gone to the extent of awarding the contract without even knowing that there is a bridge. So if the what of the contractor? Because it's not about designing the bridge. Fine, you design the bridge, you approve. How much is it going to cost the project to construct that design? It was not bidded for. It was not there. So what this is telling you, even the contractor refused to go to the site. Because if the contractor have visited the site, they will not even submit their bid. They will come back during the bid prepare, what do you call this, pre-bid meeting to tell you that I saw a particular location and that location requires a bridge. And in your bill, I didn't see any mention of bridge. So it's high time we open ourselves for business and we make some little investment so that we take advantage of the situation. And that is why most of the time we have contractors, they bid below the belt. When they win the contract, they cannot execute the contract because they feel the bill of engineering measure. Sometimes they grab some of our staff. What is your in-house estimate? They will say it's 2 billion naira. They start counting the pages of the BEME, Bill of Engineering Measurement and Evaluation. So the BEME has 10 pages, 2 billion divided by 10. They now start fixing prices. Sincerely speaking, I'll give you an example. Under RAAMP 2, we have a contractor that bid for a cubic meter of concrete at 2,300 naira. And as at that time, it was about 27,000 or 30 or 35,000 maximum. 2,300. And at the end of the day, when they win the contract now to construct the culverts, no blind drain has been constructed. How can you? You can't even break even. And that time, when we queried it as procurement, we said we're not going to award that contract. Development partners now ask us, do you know whether they have excess cement that's about to expire? Are you not sure that they are not having some reinforcement, auction reinforcement they have that they can use here? 1,001 questions. And we say, okay, fine. Because they already gave dog a bad name. So if you continue to insist, somebody will think you have interest in another company. And there it goes. And the contractor cannot construct 1 single cubic meter of line drain because of what they did. We saw some of them saying that they can construct a 900 culvert with 9,000 naira. So ridiculous when you look at the submissions. And this is telling you that somebody just divided by number of pages all over your in-house engineer's estimate and go. But the projects that I know are being implemented in this country, engage consultant to do engineering design, also engage consultant to provide supervision services. But the issue is how many local firms in this contract? Do we need to continue to wait for these people to come outside and take over these jobs while we have an association of this magnitude? So it's a challenge to the leadership, and it's a challenge to also the members, and equally we that are concerned citizens that feel bad when we're doing this evaluation. We saw how this money is going back where it came from because of our inability. It's not that we don't have the experience. I know some of you that are part of some of those studies that have been done for this country. I know some of you that are part of these consulting firms. They are being engaged by the foreigners. They've submitted their CVs to be part of the key staff so that they can get this contract. If your company cannot make it alone, look for a local party. Have a joint venture or partnership, bid for this particular job. After the first and the second, your company has already obtained the necessary experience to work alone and bid for a particular consultancy services. And this goes on not only to the consulting engineering also, like I've said earlier, it also goes when you look at what is happening with construction industry. The greater percentage of the money is going to go for either building of schools, building of roads, or construction of roads, and rather building of theaters in Nigerian universities and what have you. And the issue of who made the design, who provide the supervision. So we need to invest. Invest both in human, because if you don't have a good procurement officer, how much are you going to pay a good procurement officer to be part of your team? Give them, let them go and have this training today. SpaceX, www.spacex.gov.ng. The universities are there. Check the one that is very closest to them. Let them go for this category A. Is it category A? Category A, B, C. I attended one of them.
It's SPE,
SPE, double S, then E, SpaceX. Yeah, SPE, double SE. So the reason why I mentioned this SpaceX is because I know it's free, doesn't cost anything. Take one of your young staff and put an elderly person like us that has so many things that after the lecture, a simple text message will take away everything that you like that. No, that's what I told them when I was doing my master's. I was in the midst of young guys. So I walk out of the classroom when we're doing the coursework more often than any other person in the class. And one of them now asked me, who actually goes out every now and then? I say, well, I have a long line of people that depends on me. And there are some of them, what they call, I just have to work out. And equally, I'm working. So I have also responsibility attached to myself. I have to go out. You don't feed anybody. You don't. Perhaps you're not even married. I have grandchildren. So you can't compare me and you. And a single text message, the whole lecture of that day will disappear in my head. But just a single text message. This is a challenge we found ourselves. So the bottom line is this kind of a job is always good and better for young graduates, maybe 2 or 3 years graduates after yes, experience after graduation, somebody who knows what he's doing, and you have to coach him. And sometimes you need to interrogate them before they submit this proposal. What have you done? No, we did this, and what have you? We bidded for this. Okay. How do you think our chance of getting this job? How, our responses to the advertisement or to that particular question? Because that is where the problem is. And that goes to proposal. You succeeded in securing expression of interest. A request for proposal have been submitted to you. Did we ever look at that data sheet? How many months are required for the design and the supervision? Is it design and supervision? Is it full technical proposal? Is this simplified technical proposal? So this is telling you that even the technical proposal you are going to submit, you need to do extra work. The one you use for new map cannot be used for RAAMP. While new map are focusing on erosion-prone areas, the rehabilitation of those erosion threatened areas, RAAMP is making constructing roads. There might be road in their own contract packages. So you now have multiple of activities. So does that proposal you submitted to ACRISA and you won the contract, can it fit actually and earn you a contract in RAAMP? The answer is no. Your technical approach, your methodology will definitely be different because the scope of work is completely different. So some of us continue to roll out the technical proposal we have and submit. And you start wondering, your belief is that I don't know anybody in RAAMP. How can I win a job? That's what we conclude as Nigerians, but it's not so in World Bank Finance Project. Even if the project doesn't want you, there are people there behind the curtain that are willing to support you. They will ask very important questions that will make the project to receive their decision and recommended your company. Because even if you did your own packaging and what have you here, by the time World Bank starts asking questions about the credibility of the evaluation report, you now see some of them tracing back, trying to do the right thing, and your company will end up being there. If I cannot talk of anything, I can talk of mostly donor-funded projects. There is highest degree of transparency in the procurement process. Sometimes, even if the procurement specialist or the budget doesn't want you, they cannot find a way to run away. Because it's a parallel review activity, meaning at every stage of the evaluation process, World Bank will review and clear. So when they start asking questions, because they equally have the same experience or even more experience than we do, so they know some of these companies. Particularly me now and some of my colleagues in the office, if there is a short list of 8 companies or 6, before we even open the technical and financial proposal, I can guess who is going to win. So the same thing with World Bank, that they review all the projects. So if you say that company that is reputable and good, and they have a very good procurement specialist that package their contract, you now bring a local, firm that is not known at all, and most of the documentation is fake. You now put it on top of that reputable company, the consequence. World Bank will ask. And if you continue to insist, they will now do the investigation themselves. There was a company that was recommended by one of our project states, and they claim that they had experience in one of our local government in my state. So, do you know how we get to know that this is a lie? The PRU wrote a confirmation letter on Friday to the local government chairman, and the local government chairman responded on Monday that the contractor has executed the job 100%. There are no litigation, no issue, no whatever. They send it back. Unfortunately for them, I personally know the local government chairman, and I know the local government question. There is no internet facility there. Perhaps maybe there's only 1 or 2 abandoned computers in the local government. Look at the efficiency. Friday, responding on Monday. If you write a letter now to Ministry of Works or any ministry in this country, requesting for confirmation whether a contractor has done the job or not, how many number of days will it take? 2 weeks. Minimum. Because the letter will first go to either permanent secretary or minister. It will be minuted down to the engineer, who will now write another memo, and the draft letter, it will go up again to permanent secretary to sign and release. So how efficient is this particular local government to respond, despite the weekend, between Friday and Monday. I called the local government chairman right away. So if you see that contractor, bring it, we're looking for him. It's a lie. I'm the chairman of the local government, nothing like this. While I was doing my own investigation, World Bank has already wrote a letter, local government chairman. There was no reply. I called him, I said, I have written a letter to you. They asked me to reach out to you. You wrote, what you wrote is not about something that anybody would like this company to be doing first. We banned the company from bidding on any World Bank project for 5 years. And we now get to realize that what they did was that they created a letterheaded paper of the local government area. They opened an email on behalf of the local government area. They sent the letter to that email, and they now replied through that same email and responded on behalf of the local government. So it's going to be a very thorough job. We make verification. That is why I told you that I received verification from other countries asking me about the performance of some consultants that work under our projects. Whether they have done the job, whether are we satisfied with the job, whether the job has been completed, any litigations and whatever. So our inability to study the financial, technical and RFE, request for proposal, is going to, bring problem to the quality of the proposal we are submitting. And sometimes when we read you are reading proposal for construction of a road, you now start seeing some methodology and approach for construction of theater hall. How much weight are you going to attach to that kind of proposal? It's because nobody reads what is being expected. But if you read, your technical approach and methodology to that particular contract or consultancy services will be different from the normal ones you do. You need to palliate here and there for you to make sure that it's in line with the advertisement or particularly the request for proposal. In that request for proposal, there is a column, data sheet. They will tell you that we need 9 specialists. Each one of them, the team leader must have experience in 15, 20 or 30 years. The structural engineer would be this. The procurement support assistant would be this. The surveyor should have XYZ number of experience. When you are packaging the CVs, make sure that you are packaging the CVs in line with the request for proposal. You have thousands of CVs there, but look at the ones that match that particular specification. Then we come to the issue of man-months. We calculate man-months. We have challenges with some of our supervising consultants. Supervision is tied down to the progress of the contractor. If the contractor is not on site, supervising consultant shouldn't be on site. Not all of his staff, perhaps. Maybe 1 or 2 should be there. So but we have situations where consultants are being paid monthly, whether the consultant or the contractor is on site or not, which is completely wrong. And that is why a team leader, if the duration of the service is 6 months, team leader will be there for 7 months. Because even after the completion of the assignment, you still need to write, report, and submit. Then you will now be surprised to see that the surveyor is only asked to work for 4 months. Because the belief is that he is not required for the entire duration of the 6-month period. I don't know whether it's making sense.
Yeah.
And it goes on that way. The center with procurement is to provide support for maybe 3 months only period. So, which means his activities are being scattered. So very few of our consultants respond when it comes to the issue of man-months required. You need to calculate the man-month required. How many number of days are in the field? How many numbers are home? When you look at the RFE, the template provided to you is there. Well, sometimes we have proposals without even responding to the template that was provided in the RFE, which is intended to be used. Then you talk about tender validity. Some of us don't even write the tender validity. We will forget. So sometimes it's difficult for people that want to have Nigerian consulting firms. They find it extremely difficult because some of these informations are not there. And if you put it and there's an investigation, then definitely you are not helping the company, but you are putting the company in trouble. By the time the company is bad, then you'll be wholly responsible. So whether you like it or not, it's just not allowed that contract for. We have serious contracts that were carried out, but most of them are being executed by foreign firms. simply because we decided not to put our heads together and get two companies that will respond positively to that particular advertisement. So their response to RFE in terms of technical and financial proposal is very fundamental. And you look at, okay, maybe a key, somebody of this experience. For instance, now, in UK, there is standard of consultants. I know in Nigeria we have one, I still have a book, consulting fees in Nigeria. But how realistic is it? How often is it being reviewed upward or downward or whatever, depending on the circumstances? And some of them are being used to determine the cost of services for a consultant that has put 30 years experience in the industry. You can't compare somebody who put 30 years experience with somebody who has just 3 or 4 years, only graduated recently. So these are some of the challenges and the opportunities, like I've said earlier, are always there. Sensitization in terms of government, both not only Ministry of Works and equally any government that awarding contract and agencies, there is need for this association to sensitize them on the importance of having design. It's reducing risks, it's cost effective. The consultant will make sure that the construction is done based on the scope. The scope, exactly, the scope. Quality assurance should be adhered to. And what you expect to get when you are not engaging a consultant to be your eye to represent you, day and night, they are working with the contractor to supervise the mixture of the concrete and whatever. Sometimes after they finish the building, it's difficult for you to determine what time of reinforcement was used, what size. Is it good? Is it the original one? Is this all these ones that were packaged from
Spectre.
Thank you. So these are some of the things that the association need to focus on. One, sensitizing the government on the importance of having design and equally having a supervising consultant. No civil servant will stay at project site, goes beyond 1 year, 18 months completion period, and you have a civil servant there and night he reports there. And that is why you need a supervising consultant. Somebody's work doesn't require office. You knew from day one that he's a field officer, that he should be at the project site. Very, very important. 2, meeting with the state government to equally sensitize them. This approach of design and build doesn't help. Whatever it is, design consultant can help mediate between them and the contractor. And at the same time, they can get what they want and at a very reasonable price, and the quality is equally guaranteed. 3, you need to focus more on donor-funded projects in this country. Everything about World Bank, African Development, Islamic Development Bank, European Investment Bank, and so on and so on is in their website. They even have apps that today, if there is an advert, the app will notify you that there is an advert before you even start looking for newspaper. So from there, you now study, read. That's a fundamental work. What is required, and then make sure that you respond based on the requirement of that advert or the RFE or bidding document if it's a construction industry of what is required. 4, the issue of our staff. How frequent do we give them opportunity to be trained? Do we register them when we see? I know there are organizations that organize some training in this country, like Nigerian Institute of Highway and Transportation Engineers. Sometimes we patronize them. We send our engineers to be trained on them. Sometimes in procurement, sometimes in engineering. We even have training that's coming up on rigid and flexible pavement. But that one is strictly for our own staff. So such opportunities, the association should think of organizing such or inviting such caliber of consultants, if it is outside or if we have them locally here, to provide training for our young engineers so that they will understand what is being expected of them. Service delivery is very important. And more so now, you have a good engineer, you have a good procurement officer, they put up the bill, the procurement side did the packaging, you respond to advertisement, and be rest assured, even if you don't know anybody, as long as it's donor funded project, I can guarantee you, after first or second quarter, that you will get 1 or 2. And that's the beginning of it. You now know your way, you know how to get there. These are those that I can remember now. I don't know. I've gone beyond the time provided for me, so Mr. President, my apology. It's just that something that I'm interested. I just want to make sure that.
Thank you so much, National Coordinator, Engineer Aminu Mohammed Bodinga. How many of us got something from that? From the of course. Please, I want us to put our hands.
Also online. Yeah, also online.
From online, if you are happy with what we are just listening to now, wherever you are, I want you to just raise your hand. Raise your hand. We'll see you from here. We can see. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I must confess that you're coming here today. We saw it coming because we're looking forward to it, but you have actually opened our minds to see things that we need to know. Some years back, I had some erosion control projects, and that was the first time I heard of NEWMA. And even after then, until recently, I didn't hear of RAAMP at all. And I think we're running a consulting firm here that we thought was big in our mind. We lack access to information. So we really are not big because we have not really reached out to doing some big projects. I want to thank you so much on behalf of everyone for all this that you have opened up to us today. He has made it clear that everything is available. It is you that needs to know how to access. And there was something that you said about ACEN helping the members, sensitizing the members, making us to learn things to the point of even showing us that we can send our people to go train and end this free of charge. I believe all these things you have said today, they are very, very, very key and very important. We always talk about training and retraining, learning, relearning, and unlearning, and all that. We said that here. But this idea of having someone in the company whose job it is to be the procurement officer, who goes for training so that he knows what to package. I have someone in my office who does all the packaging, but on a certain day, he was about to go make a submission, and somehow the submission landed on my table. We had just 3 hours for submission, and I said, let me spare 1 hour to just check. I was shocked at what I saw there. But in fact, where they asked for 3 years audited account, they put the 3 years of maybe 6 years ago. Those were the things he had there. So it was when I was going, So I was removing and changing until the time for submission passed. And I realized that even if you have a procurement officer, there has to be someone that you can always vouch for part-time. Thank you so much. Of course, we have many people online, can see you. Please, any one of you that you would like to ask our August guest lecturer. We don't know when next we can get in. We're not sure of when next we can get in. If we have any question, we like the questions to start coming in immediately. And once you put your hand up, we'll connect with you so that you can ask your question. I already have somebody in-house here that I would like to ask.
We have one.
We have one.
In fact, before to now one engineer.
How you say them?
Also vice president.
How you say
We
them?
need to. We are seeing. We help you here.
Okay, you help me for
Yeah.
Okay.
We have engineer Ehin C. Austin. If you can hear us, go ahead to ask your question.
Engineer Ehin, please ask your question.
Then after you, engineer the vice president.
Okay.
Hello.
Let him unmute himself.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself and ask question.
Now you want 3. Please. Okay, then okay.
Engineer Deva, did you?
Let me unmute myself.
Okay, they're not hearing.
Yeah, I know they can hear from it. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you go ahead to ask your question? Unmute yourself. Otherwise, Engineer Tunde Adebayo, the Vice
Vice
President, you have the floor. We can see your hand.
Okay, thank you very much. I think maybe the previous question, maybe he was struggling with unmuting. Good afternoon. And thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. As you rightly said, it's just coming naturally to you because this is what you do. And I think I've always said that with engineers, it's not always what we do as much as doing it well and being well known for it. So I think we like a lot of what you said, but I'm a little bit concerned, understandably because of your own background and your situation. But because we are talking about competitive growth for firms, I'm very much aware that it's not all firms who are even in a position to be applying for World Bank projects at the moment. There's quite a lot that goes into the requirements, as you have said. And the first problem, and maybe you will still have a view on that, is that we have a propensity to be one-man bands. You know, I want to own my own practice. I want to be my own boss. I want to do everything myself. And of course, make all the profit myself so that I can build my house in my village. And that is hindering a lot of growth because most of those one single small firms will never, ever be able to match up to a lot of the requirements of the donor funded projects you talked about, the World Bank, etc. So I want to find out what your view is on this. We have talked and we are still doing it and we are going to do it about trying to come together in terms of consortium. But it seems the odds are stacked against local firms now. That by the time you look at the RFP and there are various stringent rules, you have to bring specialists with CVs. But before you know it, you'll find that the odds are stacked. And at the AGM, which unfortunately you are not able to come, we actually noted that right now the the odds are against us generally to be able to, and how those RFPs are written is also very important. Then the other one or two things I would just mention, you mentioned procurement officers, and I think I definitely agree with you in a way. But again, because of the problems in the country, you tend to find that having a dedicated procurement officer is a tall order for a lot of people. I think Engineer Ajayi mentioned something which I think is a halfway house, which is that somebody within your organization who is still active as an engineer can be the one to be putting the bids together. And that is actually the solution that many of us use because we just, things are very tough, very, very tough for consulting engineers right now. And they don't really have the resources to say, I'm recruiting, a specialist procurement officer. Finally, some of the other problems, and I think maybe this will come out this afternoon, many of us struggle with this issue of man hours, man months, predicting them, calculating them, when particularly because many of us are not thorough enough in wanting to go right through the project. So we struggle with pricing, and being able to demonstrate, not just putting a price, but demonstrate how we have come about that. So maybe you can also give us some more advice on that. Thank you very much. I'll stop there.
Yeah, Camille, maybe you can tell them the answer. Camila.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I want to thank the presenter for a very good exposition. I thank you very much on behalf of the ACEN. Now, the only issue that have not been addressed, which I want to bring up, is that you see, you engage a consultant to put the particular staff for 6 months. The contractor does not make himself available for the work for a certain period of time. I heard you saying that once the contractor is not available on site, the consultant also is not supposed to be available on site. I think that kind of issue needs to be reassessed and, if possible, reflect our own peculiar situation in Africa or in Nigeria. The contractor, they are the lord of everybody on the project site. You know, unfortunately, the other clients that we work for, like Federal Ministry of Works, they go along with them when it comes to time to start or finish the project, which I think the World Bank is objecting to. So please, I want to ask, how can World Bank take care of such anomaly in the procurement process? Thank you.
Thank you, our presenter. Really appreciate your presentation. Mine is a kind of call to action, and perhaps a lot of times, most of what our presenter have said today is something that we can quickly understand because we knew they are there. But now, how do we go about it? You have given us some of the solutions, which some of the respondents have told you clearly that is a tall order for us to achieve. And one thing I would want to suggest, as we are as association, I don't think it will be out of place, even if it is in ACEN office, that one sound very efficient and effective procurement officer is engaged, such that firms will be responsible for that person's remuneration, and perhaps we need to be going out, making friends with some. At least build and construct that the presenter just mentioned. It's all about romancing those people in authority. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you have in the real sense, even if you have that qualification, especially in Nigeria, you must romance them and be in their good books. In fact, they will be the one to call you. In most cases, the few ones some of us have been privileged to do is out of call. It's not that we even be, they will tell you that it will come out so time and you should bid. And I think that route, especially in Nigeria, works better. So for the World Bank, yes, we can provide, can improve the capacity and make ourselves qualified, since that one little or no influence is there. But in the Nigerian context, which we can also leverage on as Nigerian, I think we should also give it what it takes for us to get some of this job. So these are my own thinking, and we should be practical about it. And we should even test the water by way of making one or two moves and see how it works. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, one more.
Actually, if you realize the presenter, the Aminu, he talked more about development aid projects, non-funded projects. And you see, sometimes when we begin to come back and say Nigeria, because you see, when you have a set, there is a whole set and there is subset.
Yeah.
So it's better you develop your capacity to reach the set. The subset will be easy. Yeah. So we shouldn't be, he mentioned it very clearly that if we can't do it alone, we come together. And coming together is not difficult.
Yeah.
It's just that we have, though in ACEN, we are actually working on it as a consortium. But even before consortium, you can easily link up with the person, whether locally or internationally. But the idea of always feeling that, no, I won't get it because of this and that, we have to drop that ideology. I mean, the mentality. First, let us develop ourselves. Could you imagine, the other day I was even checking about the CVs under development aid, and I've seen the way they arrange it and the way they explain it to be responsive on which type of donor project are you actually going on. With all the knowledge I had, I was feeling somehow that yes, we have a lot to learn. So it's the capacity issue, and capacity issue is also about investment. We are going into business and we have to invest in the capacity for us to achieve where we are going. So I don't want us to be drawing ourselves back all the time saying that in Nigeria here, in Nigeria there. No, let's work to that standard. Even with the small you have, combine with some people, move to that level. Then we see what you at the end of the what you
there's somebody there. Chance Engineer Chance. You have the floor. I could see your hand.
Thank you, the presenter, for a well-articulated lecture. I just want to ask this question. Now, for example, and in particular, a situation where somebody has done technical presentation, commercial presentation with attention to details, and he feels that he has confident conviction that he will, and does not win. Is there a methodology where you can seek to challenge why you were not shortlisted? Because somebody can feel confident that he has done very well, and he was not shortlisted. Just like the procurement, the Nigerian normal procurement, where if you feel challenged, you can proceed by challenging the procurement entity that you have not been shortlisted. So is there a mechanism or a process where somebody who feels shortchanged can advance his cause? Thank you very much.
Okay. Finally, I will want to add my own before we allow the speaker to proceed. The gateway. I want the speaker to share with us the gateway. We talked about the advert, and so we are aware that sometimes you have to get registered portal of some of these donor agencies before even you see the adverts. So we want you to share some insight to that respect. And then also, you haven't, I don't know, please pardon me if I missed that part. At the time, the issue of e-procurement had been very, it was very, a lot of issues. I mean, matter of e-procurement, parts of state have even started adopting e-procurement platform, and currently even on that e-procurement. So also an insight we need on that aspect of it. Is it still on all banks and donor agencies, development partners projects being on the platform of e-procurement? Because that also is another entirely different ground. So we want you to shed more light on this. The entry point, the advert, how does it come? Is it just on the pages of newspaper? If it are selective, there are selective tenders that normally they identify some factors and consultants from these development agencies and all that. So we want you to shed more light on that. Okay, thank you very much. You may proceed before we have another set of questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think all the questions and this are very relevant. I think are very important. One of the major issues is that what the engineer Ibrahim said, we don't need to do so. And we can't do this in a day. It's something that we need to start from somewhere. I'll give you a small story. When we did RAAMP 1 and RAAMP 2, in Kaduna and Cross River, we constructed almost 1,000 kilometers of rural roads with about 70 number of cross drainage and bridges. Because there is no maintenance, after a few years, this was just a bed. And this is a borrowed money. At that time, we promote edge roads. When we come around to, we say, no, we can't continue with edge roads. With the climate change and what have you, we need to change something. When we came to RAAMP, the present project, we said all our roads must be asphalted. The little we can compromise, depending on traffic and the vehicles, access lot, we can go for the road called surface tracing. Now, when we tell government that we need to put maintenance mechanism in place, otherwise, still, with the pressure and increase in traffic volume and what have you, there is no trains in Nigeria. There are no luxurious buses, even in Abuja here, that can ease some of the traffic on this road. In a family of 5, everybody has a car. In the morning, everybody will drive out. Perhaps even go to the same location, maybe a central area of different purposes. There is no bus or train that will carry you. So every day we're putting so much pressure on the roads we constructed, and there's no maintenance. We now came with the idea of having rural road agency in the state. Because we have state road maintenance agency and we know they are not performing their functions, we now said, okay, what is the challenge? The challenge is money. Where are they sourcing money? Then we now came with the idea of having state road fund, which has been difficult at the federal level. It is in the process for over maybe 15 or 20 years, thereabout. And when we approach some people in the government that this is what we intend to do, they say it's not possible. Today, we have 19 rural road agencies established in the state, in the 19 states. And 4 or 5 of them have already started operationalization. They started using these agencies. And the intention is for the first time in the history of this country, we'll have a World Bank finance project after closure. We'll continue to maintain the investment. Go back to Fadama, go back to ADPs. All of us know ADPs. In those days, you see sprayer, motorcycles, all sort of agricultural farming provided by those ADPs, agricultural development projects. Once the project closes, nothing. So we now say this is what we want to do. Somebody looked at my face and said, you yourself as a Nigerian, you know this is not possible. I said, I still want to try. I still want to try. And today we succeeded. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not going to be easy for ACEN now to address all these issues at a go. But the most important thing to understand that it's possible. And that is why maybe at your management meeting, you start thinking of what is the best one. Which one do we start with? It's not mandatory for all of you to have procurement specialists. What I even encouraged in my statement was get a procurement officer. Somebody who graduated 2 or 3 years. That's either in your company already or is your son. Preferably an engineer, a civil engineer, preferably. This is additional qualification. You are not sending him back to university to study procurement at the degree level. Get this guy, bring him on board, focus him on a particular aspect that you want you to focus. Give him these privileges of attending some of these trainings as a beginner. Let him do some research and work as a graduate, with maybe somebody with a master's. They can get to what you actually want. I don't know what I understand. Yes. You said you can invite a procurement specialist to come and train your engineers. I can handle that. I don't know whether you understand. Now, coming back to the question, I am not expecting a company that's for today to have the qualification and the experience to be on a World Bank project. But what I promote is either partnership or joint venture. Some of you joint venture with international firms, either in India. I've seen it so many times. That's what we're promoting. If you have a joint venture with an Indian firm now, or a Chinese firm, or a firm from UK, or South Africa, you win a particular job, maybe was XYZ number. And the most important thing to understand is that if you come into joint venture or partnership with a foreign firm, foreign staff are being paid in dollars. You can propose their payment in dollars. Local staff will be paid in naira. You are enhancing your opportunity. By the time you have that partnership and win 1, maybe 2 or 3, your company is good enough to go. So this time around without even having any partnership. So this is what I'm trying to encourage. I'm not expecting you to have it in one day. So start from somewhere, look at these windows and opportunity. And even you, one can lean on another and check. The one here has so much experience in that. Doctor is also working in one of our states. Lean on one of the successful one, go into joint venture to help you so that you can build on your own company. Unless we didn't open our gate for partnership and joint venture, it continues to be a challenge to us. Even locally here, two companies. For instance, now, when we have design and preparation of environmental and social safeguard reports, I'm not expecting any engineering firm alone to carry out that service. Go and look for a firm that is an environmental and social firm, come into joint venture. They will fit the gap of the capacity of your firm as an engineering firm, coming with their profile that they have done ESNP, they have done RAAMP, they have done this and what have you. And then you now see that the opportunity is there before you. This is the gospel I'm preaching. You can't wake up in one day and be there. Go start from somewhere. I just took my map. When the president asked about the portfolio, I just picked my app. Investment project financing portfolio. Consultancy services alone has 47.92 billion naira in Nigeria. Isn't this an opportunity? The whole portfolio is 343.33 billion US dollars, not Nigerian naira. And out of it, 47.92 billion US dollars is going for consultancy services. Will we continue to allow such opportunities to live? This is their app. So what banker? We can have it. So that's why I like the question you asked. You know, the gateway. What next? How do we access some of this information so that we can prosper? So the issue of, he talks about the issue of man-hour and man-days. You see, let me give you a typical example now. There was a document that was sent to me from Liberia to review while I was procurement specialist. There was a hospital built by UNICEF, a very big hospital. It reached certain level, and then the project was abandoned. Now World Bank want to continue with that same project. So they now request for proposal, and the submissions were delivered. I was part of the people that were asked to review, to provide some technical support and review. The cost is so high. Everybody is looking at how do we bring out this cost? How do you approach these people for negotiation and bring out this cost? But when you are building a house, and the duration of building this house is 6 months. And in building, you have the electrical engineer, you have the plumbing, you have the mason, you have electrical, you have everybody. When you are doing your DBC, you need maybe a plumbing guy to be there. For how many days? Do you need him when you are laying block? No. When you do the DBC, do you need him again? No, until the building has reached certain level. And why should you continue to pay him to come to work when he's not going to do anything? Let's take an electrical engineer. Can you say from day one, electrical engineer to come and report to site? What is he going to do? Maybe until the building has reached such a level, you can now say, okay, come. This is the drawings of electrical drawings and what I do. He will tell you that he will start hitting the door, the wall and rather, to put the pipe, the conduits and what I do. So you can't pay him, start paying him money when you are at the foundation level. So this is what I want to do. And the same thing with road. You need surveyor for a specific period of time. And you can't continue to pay surveyor from the beginning of road construction to the end, even when you don't need him. Although surveyor is always on the lecture anyway, let me look for procurement because they are part of the team. Maybe you take procurement, you say you want to pay procurement from the beginning to the end. That's not fair. So that is where the issue of months and mandates come. It's difficult. But amongst you, I know there are people that knows very well. Talk to them, they will come and brief you how this works. And now, for instance, we have so many abandoned projects in this country. If the contractor is not paid and they move all their equipment, and you ask me to continue to pay supervising consultant, even when the contractor is not on site for 2-3 years. Is that possible? No. But what the World Bank did is that you can always talk to your clients and negotiate. Now your contractor is not working. Oh, now this is August, there's excessive rainfall. We don't need all this stinky stuff to be providing their services. We need 2 or 3. There are skeletal work. All work has already reached 90%. The road furniture is what is outstanding. Do we need everybody to be there? These are some of the challenges. So we have to manage it professionally. Nobody will be paying you money or paying you, because if it's your own house, you can't tell me that you are ready to pay him even if he's not coming to work or you don't need the services. That is down. But what the World Bank did is that they have estimated. And if you exhausted the man days or man month based on, and the work has not finished, they can review it. They can increase the mandates. Maybe the calculation was wrong along the line or something like, oh, there is maybe COVID-19 that came in across, the people who are trapped there, they cannot go back to their respective houses, and they have been staying there eating. You have to negotiate and they have to be paid. So there is that flexibility. Then the issue of cost of personnel. Everybody has one. The fresh graduate has his cost. Somebody with 5 years has his cost. In UK, I mean precisely that I know they are categorized staff. There are some that are earning $15,000 in a month, as months now. Some are earning 7,000, some 5,000, some even 3,000. And we have it even in Nigeria. I have this scale, but it's an old scale. I don't know whether it's updated or otherwise. So this is something that I know we have in Nigeria. You can use it as reference material. And the style is, if the team leader for a month is receiving 1.5 million naira, you know you are going for a competitive bidding process. Why can't you compromise and make it 1.2 to enhance your chance of getting the job? While people are using 1.5, 1.4, you are using 1.3. You can get the job. Your financial proposal will little bit come down. And for consultancy services, financial proposal has only 20, maximum 30%. It's your technical proposal that gives you that opportunity. So that is why you need to study the RFE very well. Your technical approach methodology, the CV, sometimes we receive proposal. It was written clearly that all CVs must be endorsed. Yeah. We see proposal, no single CV has been signed by the owner. Let me cut the story short. An audit firm, consulting firm was carrying out an audit in one of our projects. One of the staff saw his CV used by another company to win a job. Imagine if they are consulting him to sign this, it would have been a different thing. He will not raise any alarm. And there's a process of even changing those consultants as the time goes by when you are implementing the project. So cost of personnel is very easy. The issue of mandates, the training of staff, how you are going to do, the issue of partnership. And another thing, in the RFE, we have like 5 points for participation of local personnel. We are biased. 5 points straight ahead for participation of local. I think I'm right. Yeah. 5 points out of the 100. You already have 5 points for local personnel. So they are equally flexible trying to encourage the local personnel. Number 2, sorry. So, okay, I've also partially talked about the issue of mandates and man-month, that we should find a way to address that issue. So I think the best way to address is for us to have an understanding of what mandates is required and man-month is required for a particular job. If you have a time-based job, I only pay you when you work. If you didn't work, I don't pay you. So I would say you have 120 mandates within a period of 6 months. They cannot be consecutive. I can send email to you, you work and return it to me, and I pay you. You participate in a meeting, I pay you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's very easy, the issue of mandates. So the issue of training of staff is also easy, like I've told you. We're not expecting every firm to engage a procurement specialist. It's difficult. But put somebody now, start training him, give him the opportunity, let him learn from these people, and tomorrow you'll be a specialist also. And the ACEN, as an organization, has a role to play here. Since we know where the problem is, how can I come in now and advise and engage a consultant that will come and train some people? Don't engage yourself as manager, CEO, or someone else. It's difficult. But I'm telling you, I just finished one of the online one. As even a manager, not a procurement specialist. Because the more you know, like what Oga said, he was just browsing. He now realized that 6 years financial audit have been put in there. Why? They don't need it. Somebody said 3 years, give him 3 years. By the time you are over syllabus, you are going to create a problem for yourself. You now decide to see inconsistency in the reporting. And another time, which is very, very difficult, is the issue of turnover. Very, very difficult. You don't declare turnover. We normally say zero turnover. You have done 5, 7, 10 jobs and you say zero turnover because you don't want to pay tax. So we need to think about that one also, how we improve, not necessarily we see it how we try to, because the more you get this job, the more your turnover increase and equally the profit. I think then I just talk about challenging when you are not being shortlisted. I don't think the system we have in the Nigerian government gives you what you have here, what we have under donor funded project. Number one, after we finish evaluation, we give 10 days grace period for whoever has complained to come and complain. 10 days before we issue a letter of award. That is first window. So you have the right to come and say, I submitted my proposal and I think you are not fair to me. It's mandatory for the organization to either arrange a virtual meeting, if you can come physical, to sit down with you and go through the evaluation report, go through your profile and tell you why your company was not shortlisted. And if you're not satisfied, you now escalate it to federal office of that project. It is at the state level. If the federal are not fair to you, can escalate it to World Bank. World Bank will write an email and say, suspend everything that has to do with that consultancy services until we investigate what the matter is. But you should not do it just to waste people time when you know that you don't have the qualification or the experience. But if you know genuinely that they are not fair to you, you can do it. And that there are standard things that cannot be a reason. Maybe you don't attach your certificate of incorporation and it's required. Procurement unit or agency has no right to disqualify you. It's a certificate. If you have, you have. You don't have, you don't have. They can tell you, we didn't find your certificate, can you bring it? But there are other things that you can never be given opportunity because it's a competitive process. But this is your credentials, a certificate, they can ask you, right? So the issue of these are the stages from the project level, either at the state or at the federal level, federal office, from federal office to World Bank. If it's World Bank, World Bank, I know they will just say suspend. And everything will be suspended until that petition is being addressed. We have so many of them now. We are addressing them. Every now and then you have one or two and we address them. And sometimes some of them, they create problem for themselves. After the petitions and what have you. So then the issue of gateway. The gateway is under this project I'm talking about. We have $575 million. We have another project that is $600 million. We did what we call early market engagement meeting. And it's now becoming mandatory for all World Bank finance projects. Early market means you challenge project, please. Your association has the right for, and as a consulting engineering firms association in Nigeria, you are entitled to an invitation to be part of that early engagement. We did it. We have over 900 consultants and contractors that attended. We did enough base conference. Yes, we give window for people to connect virtually. Yeah. And this is why you have an understanding of what the project and what the project is all about. And you can start tracking. I've just said the opportunity of that early market engagement started. Any new project that's coming into this country, they must have an early market engagement meeting. And consultants all over Nigeria will be given an opportunity to participate. And you ask questions. And that is where you now challenge them. What are you doing for local industries? What bias do you have in your criteria that favor us? We need to build local industries. There was a time we were fighting with some of the development partners. They want to package contracts in billions. And that will require turnover in billions. And how many construction firms in Nigeria, indigenous one, have turnover in billions, 5, 10, 15 billion. We say, no, this is not helping local industry. We need this contract to be broken down It was a challenge. For 3 days, we were fighting. Finally, they said, okay, multiple lots in one package, which is Dama. Maybe one package is 10 billion, but you have like 3 or 4 lots in 33 billion. One company can win all, and at the same time, 3 companies can win each. And we leverage on that. So you have the right to ask for what's something that can help us build the local industry. We can't allow Chinese to come and take over. So every village you know is a Chinese firm that are doing road construction. You get what we're trying to do. So we have to see how we help our local industry also to grow. So the gateway here is one is to write letters, get all the donor funded projects in this country. The association can write a letter of introduction that we're interested in this project. And this is the registered body representing the consulting firms in Nigeria. We'll be happy to have your general procurement notice, specific procurement notice, and equally any market engagement. This is our email address, this is our data as strategy number 1. Some of them will still remember to share with you adverts and what have you online. Secondly, get some of this app. What's the name of the app?
Project procurement.
Project procurement. If you're using Apple, you go to this thing. If you're using Samsung, you go to Play Store. You will see the app. You see the World Bank logo in blue. You just download it. What's the name?
Project procurement.
Project procurement. Yeah. You're interested in Nigeria, you put Nigeria during the download, and what I do, you now see all the portfolio, the opportunities there in, and from there you can even see if there are adverts or there are ongoing procurement process that you're interested in, you can avail yourself. Thirdly, there is Mohammed, do they still use UNDP online or DigiMarket?
No, they use their website.
Okay. Before there is UNDP online, United Nations, there is DigiMarket, Development and Gateway Market. Before they normally place advertisement there. But with the new step they have now, they are no longer patronizing some of those DigiMarket. But you can go to DigiMarket and get your company registered. You can still have opportunities in other West African countries.
They publish on Tenders Journal.
They publish, they publish in Tender Journals. But
it directs you to their own website.
Directs you to the website. Exactly, you are right. So DigiMarket is there, UNDP Online is there, then perhaps the World Bank website.
And even the Islamic World Bank website.
And even the Islamic Development Bank. All of them, they have link. Just visit their website. European Investment Bank, Islamic Development Bank, World Bank, African Development Bank, which one again is in Nigeria. So go to their website, you'll see a link, you just register, and they will be sending you messages that there's an advert ongoing, and this is how you apply. Then the issue of e-procurement is something that currently project I'm heading, we are working with National Labour Organization. We are looking at a trial of e-procurement under this new project next year. So, but we are not sure yet, but there's another opportunity we want to learn about e-procurement so that we register all the companies, we can easily reach out based on their discipline and what they provide and send them invitation. It's a very good window. Most everything is done electronically, unless otherwise. And it's very easy and it's so transparent. Done the video process. And I also want to let you know that sometime when we open bids and our company became the lowest bidder, we concluded we have win. And if you are not given the job, you start writing petition. No. The technical proposal you submitted is addressing reclamation of a land under new march, not even the road. So when they come to technical, which carries the highest mark of 70%, they score you very low. You score 20/20 in financial, but in technical, you are having 40. So you can't win. Somebody with 15 in financial, with 70/100 in this, can equally win the job and leave it. So it's not always about the financial, most especially consultants. That RFP is the secret. That is where the scope, what is being expected of you is required. Imagine 80/20. technical 80, financial 20. Do you get it? Or 70, 30, still technical take precedence. Why can't you focus more on technical?
Yeah.
Sometimes you realize that you have the most expensive proposal. And in consultancy, sincerely speaking, to be candid with you, consultancy favors mostly Nigerian firms. Because foreign firms quote their proposal in dollars. By the time we convert their money in naira, it's huge. You have bidded well, but your technical proposal, methodology, approach, staffing, you didn't meet up with the criteria. When somebody asks you a team leader should have 30 years experience, you have somebody submitting team leader with 3 years experience. How can you compete? So these are some of the issues. That's why I continue to channel you back to better brokers for proposal. That is where the definition of LOP is there, and you can enhance your opportunity to be part of it. Start building your companies now. I don't like my answers. Thank you. I think Engineer Amana. Engineer Amana, are you still there? I saw your hand. Engineer Amana.
Have you unmuted your
Vice President Amana.
Have you unmuted yourself?
No, I think they can hear me. They can hear me.
Engineer Amana.
They can hear you.
Okay.
Echo.
Yeah. If Engineer Amana is not there, no longer there, I can see the hand of Dr. Baiko Awara. Dr. Baiko Awara, you have the floor. Awara. Dr. Awara. Are you with us?
Yes, I'm with you people.
So we can see your hand.
Sorry, I wanted to find out two things. The first one, when he was talking, if you come to some states, they don't, when they are awarding contracts, they don't even know consultants that they give. They give those consulting roles. They just award it to people that are not even, they just form a consortium and they just award them without even practicing license from Korean, nothing. And ACEN, how do we manage that? Second, now, can you also list out those places I said we can, like AfriBank, all those, can you list them out? Can we get them so that we can, how to go about it to find jobs there? I don't know whether you understand my question.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
You asked two questions, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
One has to do with consulting firms being awarded contract in some states that does not have registration with either ACEN or Korean or this thing. Where we are having such challenges is that is why I say we need to do more and invest more on sensitization, most especially at the state level. But if it's a World Bank finance project and it's at the state level, if you see such situation, it's because of that clause that I told you that international firms, maybe the consultancy has reached a certain threshold that international firms are expected to bid. When international firms are expected to bid, issues like registration with ACEN, Korean, and whatever are not required. They put it on a platter of gold, everybody can compete. But otherwise, there is no reason based on the Nigerian procurement law or act for somebody to give company contract consultancy this thing without getting the registration. And you can challenge such a situation. And they have to revisit it. Then list of development partners, like I've said, we have the World Bank. Number one, we have the African Development Bank. They call it AFDB, African Development Bank. We also have recently Islamic Development Bank. We also have European Investment Bank. Did I miss anyone?
French Development Agency.
We equally have French Development Agency. JICA? Yeah, we have JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency. JICA. Yeah, plenty.
In fact, there is something I wanted to share information. All this development, there is a development aid website that you can also register.
Yeah.
We get alerts also.
They'll give you alerts. They'll send
So
you.
you should also check that one too.
And you make sure that your phone, your consulting firm email is registered for easy access.
Yes.
You don't have to rely on any staff. Once you get an email, you open it, you will see. Once you get all these development partners and get registered. So that is that. Any other question? We have one in the team. Okay, fine.
Thank you once again. Engineer Aminu, we appreciate your effort. That information you gave to us just now is quite amazing. I was just wondering where we have almost $42 billion worth of consultancy. Yes, because I heard it and because I was imagining in my mind, that if we have 1,000 engineering consultants in the entire country, then for $2 billion, if you share it for the 1,000, yes,
$4 million. If you check your app now, sorry to cut you short. I just showed him.
Yeah.
Just dot. You click here, you say tender notices. We have them.
Yes,
look at them.
I just opened it.
And the date they were expired. All of them. They are all
yes.
And you realize that your company has a window or an opportunity, one of them.
Yes.
More than
So, Mr. President, sir, is because of you that I got up. Because I wanted to refer to the leadership of ACEN. That if ACEN can go as a consortium and write these letters that he has mentioned, not only to RAAMP, to other agencies that are having this donor support for the different projects that they are doing. I don't think it is possible for any engineering consultant to be lacking job.
In fact, not only donor agencies.
Yes.
It's part of our advocacy. He mentions
amount, yes.
Other MDAs, we have not been doing it.
Yes.
Honestly.
Maybe, okay. When we finish it, and then we take the Shetima.
Yes.
The state issue.
Yes.
We still want it because the interference of the state is.
Yes, we know that.
We know, but you have to start.
We know that the state,
you have to start.
Because we have experiences.
Yes,
in your team,
yes.
as consulting engineers, there are some of them that have access to their excellency.
Yes.
And they listen to them.
Exactly. Yes.
I know them. Personally, I know some of them that are very close to their excellency. And they listen to them. All they needed is to link the leadership with the state government. You discuss with them, have an understanding. And it's kind of the leader.
Yes. At our last conference, I think I can now say this in public. At the end of the conference and AGM, we had a small meeting with the representative of the SGF. And I made a presentation to him and explained to them very well that for all the projects they have, all their projects are in all the states of the Federation. Their projects are not making impact because they are dealing with the wrong people.
Yeah.
For a start, you are not dealing with consultants. And we have consultants in all the states. So if you have a project in a state, and you give to the consultants in that state, they claim ownership of the project. They have straight meetings with the community. So it is very possible for the community to take the project and own the project so that they will support you in the cost of running the project. So now if you have this consultant, so I now asked him a question. I said, we have different scenarios in project management. You have a good consultant and a bad contractor. One scenario. Then you can have a good consultant and a good contractor. Second, then you can have a bad consultant and a good contractor. Another scenario. Then you have bad consultant and bad. So with these four scenarios, I now have to take them one by one. And I said, if you have a good consultant and you have a bad contractor, you are good to go. Because the consultant will do the right work and insist that the right thing is done with your support. I said, if you have the two of them bad, you don't have a project. But if you have a good contractor and you have a bad consultant, you have destroyed the project before you got started. Because the contractor cannot work beyond the bill that has been prepared, otherwise it will run at a loss. So now that means you need the consultants and you need the backing of an association like ours. So they have asked for an opinion paper, which I've already shared with you, and I think I shared with Engineer Bodinga too, that we need to put up an opinion paper, which we are going to submit to the federal government, so that all the consultants in all the states can now be the ones that are managing things that are happening in their states. And once this becomes something that the federal government is backing, the state governors will also respect it. We all know what's going on everywhere, where the state governor just packages everything as a turnkey kind of project, where the contractor is the one doing the scoping. This is completely wrong, actually. No doubt about it. Contractor does the scope, contractor does the work. No supervision. He supervises himself. He dumps it on your hand, and you also inform the people that they call it dividend of democracy. It is absolutely not. Thank you so much.
I like what the minister said, and I want us, again, to take note of that seriously. You see, when you are dealing with political issues, you also deal with it in that state. The state, they listen to the excellency. Once the excellency said it's going to work, you know it now.
Okay. Shatima, you lower your hand. Do you still want to contribute?
Yes, sir. Thank you, my president. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you, my presenter, our distinguished guest, both online and physical. Good evening. Let me first thank ACEN for this opportunity for us to have this business evening where we are getting a free consultancy in terms of our capacity building. Let me also thank the presenter for the wonderful presentations. But my question now is directly to the presenter. He made mention of so many merits and demerits of using, our consultants here, the foreign contractors, so many issues, as well as he has cited so many examples and he gave us so many foresights on how to make things right. And I could remember there was a popular saying that says charity begins at home. Him being a coordinator, I'm sure he is a chief executive officer at his organization, if I'm not mistaken. How far has he gone in implementing these issues that he has been enumerating since? Then the second issue is he has now made the work of the advocacy committee of ACEN very easy. By visiting ACEN at its doorstep, he has gotten to know more about ACEN. How can he be able to assist ACEN in making sure that all those consultants or consultancy firms that registered to do work with the with RAAMP or any other organizations, be it within Nigerian content or the foreign partners or developing partners or what have you, how can he be able to assist ACEN to make sure that all those who have applied or who are doing work of these consulting exercise are ACEN registered firm members? So that's what I want to ask our presenter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like your question. I have done my own part. This is the best I can do for me now. And I want to let you know that Dr. Arafat is here. He is working in 203 of our state. Engineer Brian Boga has been working with us for a very, very long time. So there are consulting firms that are registered members of this organization that are currently working. And it's out of concern when I'm reviewing some of these proposals, I developed interest and felt if there's an opportunity, I can reach out to you to inform you of these opportunities so that you can respond to it. It's not of I want to let you know that I didn't sit on my table today, just to be here to inform you. And I think this information is what you require. And anything I can do within my own capacity to help the organization, I will do it. Furthermore, follow this advice. Write to these organizations. They are very responsive. Most of them, all donor-funded projects in this country are very responsive. That is one thing I can guarantee you. If you write to them, we have a register of consultants. Consultants, most especially those that work with us. We have their register, we have their address. And the beauty of World Bank Finance Project is that you have a specific assignment. And maybe you don't need so many firms. You can just select 3 or 4 of them and say, come and bid. They will bid. You will do your own house depending on the threshold and the circumstances and your award. So we'll continue to patronize ICANN. I want to let you know that. And I think the ball is in the court of ICANN now to reach out to this funded project in the country to expand their scope, meet these political leaders in the state. There are some of you that are very powerful. When they talk to the governors, they listen. Instead of you giving somebody a turnkey contract approach, give us an opportunity to serve you. Brian said it all. There are a lot of politics involved there. Try and play the politics, and you start building this very great industry. And before you know, this story and the history will change. You will see our consultant in Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and what have you. You will see them now designing some of these major highways and what have you. So this is a very good opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just to add on this, about, I think a number of us have said, the advocacy we are taking into the doorsteps of the governors, ministers, and people like you, and we'll take also make a special note, the India has taken a special note, this issue of writing to the concerned stakeholders will definitely going to take care of. I can give an example as the easiest way, like some, I don't know whether over the years deliberately expunged that part, but like UNDP, just last 2 months, they have done some meeting, and clearly they have included, because like what they have in some cases, you will see in the score sheet eligibility requirement, and then also you see additional requirement, sometimes additional requirement 1 and 2. So like in UNDP that we applied recently, they clearly mentioned registration with professional association. The second certain, that's ICANN. In fact, they even mentioned clearly ICANN has a score. I can't remember whether it's 5 or 10 marks. So, I mean, we are all, our voices toward the development of this country. If you get the right persons on board, it's for the good of everybody. Good for your evaluation, good for eventually everything. So that is one thing we've been asking. We have been, pushing on PPP, at least for MDS, that at least let them. It used to be like Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Core Engineering, Ministry of Agriculture, in their procurement score sheet, their procurement requirement, right, even from the advert, they should allow for this registration with the professional, in addition to regulatory, and corporate requirement. So that is, it's no, it is an opportunity. It's something you can do because it's not, it's acceptable. Yeah, that is one thing that we've been asking for, and that's what I mean. The area Shetima is concerned. So, and that is one thing we continue to push. That at least that is how we can sieve out some quackery. You understand? So, and for the governors, same thing. Some governors have been listening here, but some, as you rightly said, they are so fond of this. I've been challenged even by, in my state, by the chief of staff at one point in time when we had an interface with him. He said, "Engineer, are you not ashamed that, just as you mentioned, it's only these white people that are always doing every small culvert?" Chinese. Yeah, Chinese. Why can't we do it? So it's also the same thing. And then National Assembly joined Committee on Works. In this Sheraton last year, they have organized a workshop, or seminar or something like that, that they are looking at this local content team. Why is it every small work is Chinese? How do we grow local capacity and all that? So, and it's join something, RAAMP, everybody in his own place has to join forces so that we can really, we are not saying we should get rid of it, but sometimes even technology transfer, knowledge transfer is a problem because you don't get people involved. Like now, our training, our university students that are supposed to go on serious ITF, you know, most of us in the yesteryears were able to have good training because our consulting firm then were engaged. But nowadays, because you hardly engage people, because in contracting, they don't have time for tutelage and training, capacity building. So if you don't empower, at least in some threshold of projects, these local contractors, both consulting and contractors, how can you build it up right from that level of university or polytechnics, the capacity of your indigenous people? So all the laws are there. Executive order 5, that was what we asked for through the national, through the executive, President Buhari graciously approved that. Like I have instances in my state which I thought and were able to sustain. And even here in Abuja, where you see that some of these multinationals are even considered. I'll give you an example, not because I want to. That on the hand side, you all of us know when it comes to water projects, that they sometimes do the design in Lebanon. Some Bulgarian companies, some people, as you can see, sometimes they do it in their country. If care is not taken, those design and drawings they are implementing, you see it in their language.
Yeah.
I've seen the one in my state.
Yeah.
The Chinese did the design of a bridge from Chinese, and they brought it in Chinese. I had to single-handedly insist that this thing must be translated. Both the design report and the drawing. So as bad as this thing, and as you said, it's only through talking to some of these sites, because they will not even know themselves.
Yeah.
Because the ministry or the MDS themselves, the guys are so afraid that they don't even present. And this white people, they only go there to discuss things, at high level, not the nitty-gritties of the drawings and the design. So the governor may not know himself that this is what is happening. Like the one in myself, I personally, I happen to be a consultant. I insisted that there's no way we bring this thing to my country and you use your court. Even the court, everything was Chinese one. And when I was fighting them, the ministry are even afraid that no, we should not fight with these people. But later they had to convert everything and everything. So that is so it's a thing that we all have to do our own part, and then eventually things will be put in place. So we don't have further questions. So
I just have to.
You need to be back at
just a testimony. Thank you, Mr. President. The issue is, I think, as far as I'm concerned, from my experience with RAAMP, Engineer Aminu has done so much for us as Nigerian consultants. What I'm asking is the opportunity given to firms to join venture or partner. Because when I saw the advert and I went through it, I lost hope because of the requirements. You understand? Until when I got to the clause that indicates that you can partner or joint venture, at least I had a side of relief. I had to get a senior colleague who had most of the experience and requirements, you understand, to partner with. So that and with who we now put. So I've never met Ian before that. He doesn't know me. I don't know.
It's the work that brought
Yeah, that's what does it. That's what does it. So I appreciate it, and so I haven't had in Catholic. Understand? We got some people and heavy. The problem is all of us are Nigerians, and we know how the politicians work. You understand things. I think maybe some of them even don't even know ICANN exists. Some of them, if you even contact them, they will tell you that we don't have qualified engineers. Just for a blanket statement like that. So I think maybe that sensitization will help. Advocacy. You understand will help. Because I met the governor that he told me, he said, we don't have engineers that can design roofs. You understand? Because the problem is the Chinese, the Lebanese, they will come with a treaty. You understand? And before you know it, they will like I will just give you an example with what happened in Niger. Just brought him to his palo, playing the 3D board. You understand? So, you understand, before you know it, so in that case, you will not even come as an engineer, Nigerian engineer to town. You will not even that is it. You are doing drawings done at the so these are the issues. Maybe we have to take the pay. It's not easy. Because relating with them is not easy. But we'll have to take the pain. Some of them maybe genuinely they will be sincere and they will appreciate to know that I can exist and I can as an umbrella of all consultants people and they can contact I can anytime in any field of engineering or any discipline they want consultants that I can should present. If you understand something like that, some of them might think they will do it. But they don't even know we exist. So I think maybe we have to take the bait. Some of them know, you understand, but they feel you are not so competent enough to handle their jobs. You understand? Unfortunately, like you said, you have a design in a foreign language. It's only in Nigeria that this is happening. You understand? But the governor there that maybe I want only contractual is that right. You understand? Yeah. I was alleging that in Ibadan just last week, a former director of Federal Ministry of Work confirmed to me, yes. Because I said I've been traveling on that road, I've never seen any project vehicle. Yeah. The Federal Ministry of Works or anything, or any consultant. The resident is only the contractor that is working on that road. Over 750 billion naira project. The contractor is working alone. The only raise his certificate. You understand? And the minister will send his boy to go and just measure the coverage, and that's all. He'll write a memo. They won't provide pictures on that. That just is there, and he'll just write a memo and he will get paid. So it's a very, you see, that kind of situation.
I'm an engineer. Lawyers have been there, and we have clapped for having engineer in that office for several years. We have Minister of Work must be engineer. So eventually we have it. Engineer now. Yeah, it was. I look at what is happening. So it's a very bad. It's very bad.
No, in line with what you are saying.
Okay, some of time, okay? You have the floor. Okay, later.
It's your own president. You reduce the level.
Yeah.
We need to see you.
Come front.
Thank you very much, Aminu. That's the end of your presentation. And thank you for your testimony. There are two things I just want to say. You said the Lebanese guys or whoever they corner the government is and do a presentation. For me, that speaks to us. We have to up our game. We have to up our game. We cannot continue to lament.
It's true.
Nobody is going to, I mean, if you will continue to be left behind. So I think that is an area we engineers are currently. Let's build capacity development bodies. If we are busy, we have done this, what are you talking about? But if we are not busy, we are not grabbing the opportunities. And the reason why we are not upping our game is there's no money. We are just surviving. So we'll continue in that circle, and some of us will retire. We are very near retirement. And then what are we going to do? So for me, I think it's something that we need to really, as engineers, if we want to continue with this, we really need to up our game. Thirdly, the third one I want to say, I've been in this city for about 32 years. Whenever, when
as well as the
One of the funding
when Arab contractors came to Nigeria, they were renting D8, D2 to do the work. Utaku was the first infrastructure. Because people chose us to do the work. And after about 2 years, they now began to acquire their own equipment. We as engineers, we should, there's a stage to get to where we have to transition. We're the experts. But can't we build up a Julius Berger company? What stops us? We have the expertise. We have the skills. We have been consultants for many years. What stops us from being the Julius Berger of our time? I know some of us are just content with being consultants, which is okay. There's nothing wrong. But who are those going to take the lead? Is it the people who are not professionals, who are just the politicians? They are just interested in the money. In the development of engineering and building contractors, many of us have to step out of this garment and then take the bull by the horn and take the contracting jobs. Because we know what to do. We know the equipment to use. Instead of leaving it for accountants to float engineering companies and then employing us. So this is the tragedy. And, it's not good for us to just keep lamenting. Let's step up our game and make up our minds to jump in and snatch the job from these folks. Thank you very much.
I just want to add, all this issue of upping our game, when you were speaking, I just remembering in the sense that, when you have a K-leg, I can say, we have one K-leg. That one K-leg is even the perception. When you see a white skin and a black skin. So what do you do? Because most of these people, and it's not only Nigeria, it's all across Africa. Because of the colonial mentality, we are meant to believe. These experiences, I will just share maybe 2 or 3. Almost 25 years ago, there was a time one minister, he used to have meeting consultants and contractors, monthly meeting in the National Assembly's building. Okay, it's about 20 years now, I remember. Because this particular incident took place in 2005. I was there. Our contractor is a local contractor. And when the man is coming for that meeting, I was there as a consultant. He said, okay, let's press for their office in Abuja area. And he just called one white man and said, come, let's go. We just went and sat there. And when the time comes for our project, the MD stood up and he started speaking. You know what this minister said? He said, okay, sit down. Let's do a forum party and talk. I'm telling you. And this guy doesn't even know this project, though.
Yeah, of course.
We were just lucky. He said, okay, if you give us this time and this, we finish this. And the minister was satisfied. Because of color of the skin. I have these examples. There was a work we did in Malawi. I was working with one British boy. He's just a small boy. And he was just there because he participated in the software. I'm the one that is using my CP for the engineering part of it. But anytime we go into the office, You see the black Africans, when all the eyes are on him, and only when we start presentation that they will know the difference. What am I saying? This issue, you said a lot, all of us, we know. The problem is the capacity we have to build it to a level. To a level that you are not thinking local, you have to think global. So when we develop ourselves that level, because we already have this problem, all these governors that they are saying, yes, we know, they already have this bias. That they think when they see a black, you see, we have so many of these examples. So my main concern and why I want to add to all this is, when you develop your capacity, they maybe one time they will not do with you, but gradually, if you persist, they will know that you have the capacity, and they will do it. They will do. So this is my president is here, so we share so many things together.
You take up with.
Yeah, so we have to continue.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for all the contributions. Let me stand here so that the camera can capture me. Well, again, thank you so much, Engineer Aminu. We have all said so many things, and I think we keep saying it, hoping that one day it will suddenly just happen. It looks more difficult the more I hear of capacity. Building capacity costs money, and after you have built the capacity, you're busy doing the work and all that. Suddenly I'm hearing that we need to meet with the governors. You are busy thinking, you are working, then later you have to go and meet governor. And out of, I think seeing the governor is one of the most difficult things for us to do, because of the time it takes you to book the appointment, to get there, to settle every security matter. That's much money. If we were contractors, we don't have much problem. Just one project, you have enough in your pocket, you can talk to everybody, you can meet. Now, this brings me to architect consultants, not money. People can say, we are not strong, then we have a strong backup. You understand? Something happened to me today. I can share it right away. We bidded for a job, technical and financial. And some days ago, we got a call saying that they wanted to negotiate. That means we're in. 5 minutes to that online negotiation, they sent a mail that it was cancelled. So I suspected foul play. So while we were at the groundbreaking this morning, I now got a call, another call from them. So I was happy. Then the guy said, well, we checked through the technical again, and we are not negotiating with you, we're negotiating down. Wow. So I told him, I am in a mood now that is different from what you're telling me. I said, but when I'm done, I'll decide what to do. Yeah. I said, because I have to tell you now that I know my rights. Yes. Number one, for you to have called us, our technical was good. Yeah. I said, because it's 80-20. If it's different, tell me now. I said, and if you have confirmed to me that we got 100%, that means we got 80 already. And you can never get 0 in commercial. Yeah. So even if your price was the highest, particularly they will give you 5/20. Add 5 to 80. That's what? 85. I told him the person that got next to us, if he got 60 over 80, and his price was the lowest, add 20 to that 60. That's 80. So I still have 85. I said, when I'm ready, I'll decide whether I want to query this or I just want to let you go. But you have already called me for negotiation and it's on record. You sent me a mail. So if I'm willing to go through the process, I will. If I'm not willing, I just let you go. Do you understand? Now, if I thought in my mind that I don't want to pay to lawyers, let me report this matter to ACEN. ACEN should be able to be in a position to say, just come to us. We'll know what to do next. Even if I cannot meet with the people, someone who can will appear. So I just want to put that to ACEN that we also need to up our games. Because someone who is on the floor and we keep telling him to up his game, we're actually telling him to go down into the ground. So we need to put our hands together to be able to assist our members to become what they have to become. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So I think Paris was spent. Well done. Okay. Okay. Now we are on the AOB, I think. Let me see. Anybody online for AOB? For now, I didn't see anybody. Any AOB here? Okay. The absence of AOB, I would like to go ahead. Okay. For the closing remarks, which one comes first? Is it the closing remarks or the word of thanks?
Both of them is last. The last one. Both of them is the last.
Both of them is the last one. So let me do the closing remarks. Lest I forget, before my final say, let me, okay, this presentation, okay, we'll do it. Lest I forget this issue of having dedicated health officer or procurement officer. I just remember that, also this is another mindset that we have to change. There's what they call contract slapping in the US. Long ago, and for engineering firms, nobody expected you to keep specialists, anything specialists under your arm. You talked about there's no way you maintain paying women's salary. So even long time ago, as far because I myself I got to know that in the 90s, early 90s, even when I was still in training. So that there is contract stacking. And for special, that is why some of our firms you even see that an associates. So some people could be those experts that you have identified, and then job based. When you have job, you look for these specialists, on demand, and like lawyers, you can keep them on retainership, and even some Total Energy can do it. Like even the contract I just signed with UNDP, that is, they call it long-term contract. And all you will agree on, in Total, they call it framework contract. So where you have the rest, you have the general agreement. So, but they will only call you as the work demands, and then you. So the same thing, the procurement. You identify, like my Oga here, if he has the time or he can recommend somebody, you can identify a procurement specialist that you will continue to work with. And over time, you will get to know the standard of your company and everything about your company. So that at any time, if you have cost to call him, then you agree on that particular, as he finishes that job, you will move. It's good win-win for both. So I think let us also look at that one. That is one thing I say, just let me try to remember before we, but I hope those, because some of the questions also came online to that respect. So on this note, I will most sincerely want to appreciate our guest speaker for his patience. First, as I said, he came in before any one of us. We have apologized from the beginning. Now it's time to thank him for his patience. And now he has been here just throughout, just as he rightly said, he had to leave his office throughout for us today and then attend to our needs. Thank you, sir. We'll continue to be grateful And then also we'll urge you on this one that time with you is not enough. Please offer us your door next time when we have course to. Definitely we're going to have course to still invite you to learn more from you. You are an engineer, you are one of us, and eventually, by the time you leave the government work, you'll be in this. That is it, because that's the irony. One of our colleagues, engineers, especially, that will be fighting us, you know, when they are on the other side of the eventually, you know, when they, they will come and join as consultant and private player. You know, so definitely Oga will one day going to be in Ake, I know. So please, please, whenever the needs arise that will go back to you, please have it in your mind that we're going to invite you again to talk to us. So this is not this is a coordinator. Can we have the plaque? A token of appreciation, as he rightly said, ICANN is not in position to give anything more than, you know, recognition and token plaque of appreciation. So I wish to invite you, Engineer Aminu Mohammed, tell us if we pronounce this name very well, otherwise you correct us. Bodinga. Okay. Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, for accepting and being there for us to serve as a guest speaker at the 4th Business Evening 2025 here in Abuja, which we call in ICANN as the zonal office for Central, North Central, comprising of Nasarawa, Niger, Kaduna, FCT, and all that. So we are very much grateful on behalf of the Association for Consulting Engineering, the Executive Committee, the Council, and the majority of our membership. I hereby present this plaque of recognition. Congratulations, sir.
Okay. I think for those of us who might have joined much later, either physically or online, our guest speaker is in person of Engineer Aminu Mohammed. It's not Bodinga, it's Bodinga. Bodinga.
We'll come
Okay, and he's also the current national coordinator of Rural Access and Agricultural Marketing Project. That's called RAAMP. And as you know, he has already explained, the portfolio under him is massive. And for him to have left the desk and come here is telling enough that he has actually recognized us worthy of being here. For so long, I've been anytime upon him, even at night, pertaining ICANN issues since when we started from the regarding the AGM that we did, though he couldn't come because of certain issues that were beyond his control. But you can see he has made it. Not only coming to give us this moral support, free services. Let me tell you, RAAMP in his own capacity, they also assisted us financially during our AGM. I don't have to mention the amount, but it's a huge amount. So we thank you, sir, for being there both morally and financially. And he's already one of us. We can't thank you more enough. And we are sure that we'll call you one day again, and we'll continue to call you. Oh, don't be surprised, we will also pay you a courtesy visit very soon. So, ICANN members, I want you to join me. First, let's clap for him again. Aminu will say thank you. Thank you, sir. Oh, I appreciate it. Back
Well, it is my pleasure to thank you, sir, Engr, for being.
Yeah.
And I also want to thank everyone, every member of ICANN and our guests who has come to this. I know that you're all going on with something, even if you're not an engineer. you are certainly going away with some of the tricks to breaking into making bids for whatever business you're doing. So you need to remember ACEN when you're making happen. I thank you all so much. I thank you so much, sir, and my president for always been there to. He has not missed once, even if he's abroad. He's never missed one single one of his business meetings, and he's so passionate about the business meeting becoming actually a place where we can mingle and form bonds that will turn into something which will make ACEN even bigger. That is each firm, ACEN itself. So thank you all very much. We hope to see you again sometime next year when we call. Please answer us. And I would like to thank everyone who made it online. Forgive me for that. We recognize every single one of you. I can't see all your names, but I do remember those who had questions. And we thank you for participating fully. And we know that going away, you are going away with something you are going to be. Thank you very much. And I want to remind us that we as ACEN are going to be writing letters to all the bodies doing procurement. We're going to, all of us here who listen, we're going to get the apps. And I will remind you, we'll send a reminder onto the forums on apps to join. We have the ADB, French Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, and DG Market. Then we're going to be following up with whatever is happening in all these places. We're going to try as ACEN as much as we can. Thank you so much, and I know that you've had a very good time. God bless us all. God bless you.